back for more daily NBA predictions here for Sunday, February 23rd. And my goodness, yesterday, man. Hey, the reign of terror that the Denver Nuggets had over the Los Angeles Lakers, guys, it's over. It's done. I can't believe it. Oh my goodness. Luka Doncic and the Lakers are winning the NBA championship. I'm still kind of scared of the Thunder, but man, the Lakers are back, guys. Showtime, it's back. Anyways, there's no Lakers today. We'll get on the Lakers when they play their next game on Tuesday at home against the Dallas Mavericks. That's another huge game. But regardless, we've got 10 games today in the National Basketball Association to go over. The first of which starts in an hour if you're watching this video right when it comes out at 9 a.m., which you should. So hit that notification bell and subscribe for more daily NBA predictions here on the channel. And also make sure to join us for our daily college basketball best bets. That video is posted earlier today. That is linked in the description down below. And also later today at 5 p.m. Pacific around, we'll have our UFC Fight Night Cop versus Almabayev predictions from the UFC Apex. It is the final MMA video on the Greedo Plays channel because next week for UFC 313, we are going to Greedo Plays MMA for our new MMA content. And so again, UFC 313, Pereira Ankalaev, that video predictions will be on that channel. So make sure to join us over there. Make sure to subscribe with the link down below. All right, let's go to the first of our 10 NBA games today, and we will start things off here in Boston with the Boston Celtics and the New York Knicks. Give me the Celtics. We just saw this game, well, kind of right before the break. Boston blew out New York at Madison Square Garden a couple weeks ago now, but still February 8th in the Garden. Jason Tatum drops 40 points, and the Celtics go on the road and take down the Knicks. I think the Knicks are kind of pretenders, and we've always kind of said that. We've said that they're a regular season team. Obviously, Tom Thibodeau coaching these guys and playing them a million minutes a night. But I do feel that way, that the Knicks, again, I think they're full pretenders. You guys might not want to hear it, but the Indiana Pacers, I firmly believe, have a better chance of getting out the East than New York does. I think the Knicks are probably the fifth best team in the conference in terms of likeliness to make the NBA Finals actually we'll rank them in order: Boston, Cleveland, Indiana, Milwaukee, New York. Let's just be honest. Then Atlanta. Anyways, I just don't think they can hang with the elite teams. And that was apparent in their last game. Guys, this team is hanging around with, again, I love the Hawks, but they're hanging around with the Hawks with just Trae Young. Again, Trae's trying his damn hardest, and trust me, we do have Atlanta Hawks basketball today. But this team's playing a 149-148 overtime game against the Hawks. They win, sure, just like how, they barely beat the Chicago Bulls by 2 points in overtime. And it's crazy because they're doing this with a guy in Karl Anthony Towns who, let's say it, has been a top 5 player in the NBA this season. Jalen Brunson, obviously elite as well. He's an all-star. Same with Cat. But my goodness, there's no depth on this team. And hey, I saw a tweet, NBA Central, the New York Knicks are the favorites to win the Victor Oladipo sweepstakes. Now, I love Vic. He is legitimately maybe my third favorite player of all time. Potentially 2. Yeah, maybe just behind Kobe Bryant. Victor Oladipo is my second favorite basketball player ever. I don't know where I'm going to rank LeBron and Victor Oladipo. Regardless, Victor Oladipo sweepstakes in 2025 is absolutely insane. But I actually think Victor Oladipo could really help the Knicks. He really could, man. And I kid you not, guys, if Victor Oladipo signed with the New York Knicks, all right, my opinion on this team might change. I'm just saying. Anyways, I'm so glad Vic's actually getting, media attention for potentially getting back in the league. It makes me so happy Oladipo's making a comeback. I can go buy another Victor Oladipo jersey to add to my collection of the 5 teams Victor Oladipo's been on in his career. Anyways, I'm taking the Celtics to absolutely beat the crap out of the Knicks, though, tonight. The Knicks are still dealing with some injuries, right? Josh Hart, I believe, is out for this game, questionable. OG Anunoby, questionable. Mitchell Robinson's still a couple weeks away, I do believe. And for the Celtics, right, completely healthy team. They're playing great ball this season. Jason Tatum, again, has fully established himself as a top 10 player in the sport. And obviously, if that wasn't apparent with their NBA championship last year, Tatum has been so good this season. And again, Boston's good. I think, again, it's a 2-team race for whoever's going to get out the East between them and the Cavs. You can trust me, I love the dark horse Pacers, but we'll see. Again, it's Cleveland and Boston as the top 2 dogs in the East. And again, we saw the Knicks last game against another one of those top dogs. What happened? They go to Cleveland and the Cavaliers blow them out 142-105. I get it. They're host. No, they're going to Boston. No, they're screwed, man. Oh, this is going to be an absolute blowout. Early morning spot, afternoon game at the Boston Garden. Yeah, this is Celtics all day long. Give me the 40-win Celtics to win at home and blow out this hobbled New York Knicks team. Boston wins and covers at home. We go to our second half of the ABC doubleheader, and we go to San Francisco, California for the Golden State Warriors and the Dallas Mavericks. I'm taking the Warriors to win, but we are going to go with the Mavericks on the spread. I think 8.5 is too much. I get it. We're kind of high on the Warriors now, right? Or just the league is high on the Warriors because of their big victory in Sacramento against the Kings. Guys, the Kings just aren't good. And I get it. In the Jimmy Butler era, they're 3-1 with Jimmy. 4-1 now with Butler. Okay, that's great. The only loss actually being to Dallas of all teams in Texas on February 12th. Regardless, they've won back-to-back since. They beat the Rockets the day after losing to the Mavs, and then obviously the win just a couple days ago on Friday against the Sacramento Kings. Again, guys, that was more the Kings just suck. I'm going to be honest. Sacramento's absolutely abysmal. We've been hating on the Kings, Suns, and Warriors all year long, but I can now say that 9-10 play-in game will likely be Golden State. Actually, no, it's probably going to be Dallas Phoenix. I think Golden State probably gets in the 7-8 one. Regardless, I think the Kings are we've been talking about all year long. Warriors, Kings, Suns. Who's going to be the team that's going to miss the play-in? It's going to be Sacramento. And I get it. Phoenix don't play defense, and we're going to talk about their matchup up in the 6 in a little bit. But no, by far the worst team out that bunch is Sacramento. So again, good win for the Warriors, but the Kings are just horrible, man. Sacramento's playing such crappy ball. Zach LaVine is just, I like LaVine, trust me, but guys, Kings fans are calling him Kevin Huerter with the dunk package. Like they're saying, oh, we traded our franchise guy for Kevin Huerter with a dunk package, but then we also got rid of the original Kevin Huerter. Anyways, I just saw that on Kings Twitter. It made me chuckle, I'm not going to lie. Anyways, the Mavs have won 3 in a row, right? We talked about that Warriors win. They beat the Heat, who have been really struggling, and then they beat the Pelicans. They are retiring Iguodala's number tonight, so big whoops, I guess. I think Dallas keeps it close, but ultimately I think the Warriors win. Again, we talked about the injuries the Mavericks are dealing with, not obviously just with Anthony Davis, who's out for a couple more weeks, at least. PJ Washington is questionable. Obviously, they're without Gadford and Lively, but then Caleb Martin's out as well. They're forced again to play PJ Washington at the 5, a guy who, is a 3/4 type of guy. They're without their backup center in Dwight Powell, who, yes, is their backup 5 now, leaving them with a starting lineup of Kyrie Irving, Dante Exum, Klay Thompson, Kessler Edwards, and again, PJ Washington if he plays. They're thin, but I do think they're able to keep it competitive here with the Warriors. Again, I think Golden State's solid. I just don't think they're elite. Again, shout out to Draymond Green, who guaranteed a championship this season. I think Dallas keeps it competitive, but ultimately, yes, I think the Warriors win. Give me Dallas on the spread, Warriors on the money line. Going on to our third game of the video, let's go to Indianapolis, Indiana for the Indiana Pacers and the Los Angeles Clippers. Yeah, guys, the Pacers are everything I say they are. Trust me, they are. Now, shout out to Tim Hardaway Sr., saying he wishes he could still play so he could beat the shit out of Tyrese Halliburton or something. It's like, all right, bro. Like, we get it. Your son plays on the Pistons. Like, this beef that the Pistons are trying to start with the Pacers is just, it's so odd. They're trying to restart. They're trying to recreate the Malice in the Palace. But it's like, all right, Tim Hardaway Sr., you're beefing with Tyrese Halliburton for your son, who's on the Pistons and who's 8 years older than Halliburton. If anything, should it be the other way around? Like the young, all-star would be going at a vet, but the vet's dad is going at the 24-year-old two-time all-star? The guy who just won a gold medal for Team USA? What? And I get it, Tyrese is having a down year. He's averaging 18-9 on a down year. Trust me, guys. Tyrese Halliburton, perennial all-star for the rest of his career, okay? Bad year this year. But again, this is Tyrese on a bad year, 18-9. Trust me, Tyrese is going to be just fine. He's been dealing with injuries. He's been much better since he's really gotten to, again, come back. And, with the all-star break, too, Halliburton had 22-9 in their victory over Dallas on Thursday. So, again, Detroit, Indiana, I hope we get that in the first round of the playoffs because that's a sweep for the Pacers. Anyways, Indiana should be able to take care of business tonight against the Clippers. I like the Pacers a lot. That's no secret. Again, if I could have it my way, I'd have Pacers-Lakers NBA Finals, and I'd be perfectly happy with that. The Clips coming off that loss on the road in Milwaukee the other night. 6-point loss. Kawhi actually has a pretty solid game. We'll see if Leonard plays this one. Leonard is questionable due to left foot soreness, and Norman Powell is questionable as well. So again, if either of those guys don't play, yeah, it's going to be brutal for the Clippers. Especially, and I can't believe I'm saying this, if Norman doesn't play, oh yeah, they're in trouble. Again, James Harden, all-star this season, obviously great player as well, but Norman Powell makes up for most of their scoring, and Kawhi Leonard, again, is still a solid guy to have on the court. I think Indiana wins it. The game is at the Gainbridge Fieldhouse, and on top of that, again, Tyrese is, keeps on playing better, keeps on playing with more and more momentum. Pascal Siakam, again, all-star this season. We like the Indiana Pacers to win at home here against the Los Angeles Clippers and cover the 4.5 points as well. Again, I keep telling you guys, Indiana is a legitimate threat in the Eastern Conference, okay? But please, can we just get Pacers-Pistons in the first round so we can see the sweep? And I want to watch the Pistons cry, okay? That's what I want. Give me Indiana at home against the Clippers. Next up, we go to our fourth game of the day, and here are those aforementioned Detroit Pistons. Maybe the Pistons won't hold up their end of the bargain to get that 5 seed. Yeah, actually, no. The Pacers are probably not getting up to 3. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Pistons-Hawks. Give me the Hawks. I'll keep saying it. Yes, it is kind of a running joke at this point. I always take the Hawks. But, that Magic game, man, there's a lot of calls that just went against the Hawks. It was ridiculous. Now, Trae said it himself, obviously, and Trae Young, man, he is doing everything he possibly can to keep this team in a winning spot. And it's crazy, because this is likely the last year Trae Young is playing for the Atlanta Hawks. We expect him to be on a team like potentially the Orlando Magic next season. Hell, I wouldn't mind the Miami Heat. I don't know where they're going to be able to afford him. So, again, likely a team like Orlando, we could see Trae playing for next season. What's another team we could see Trae Young go to? That would be fun. Like a contending team. Definitely not Boston. I'd hope not Denver. Houston. Honestly, I could see Trae in Houston. That'd be kind of fun. Yeah, I don't mind that. Hell, even Clippers. You have to move hard into the 2. Minnesota. Wouldn't mind that. I just want to see Trae Young out of Atlanta, and it feels like, again, the direction the Hawks are going after the season. I think they want to get stuck. They want to get out of this, stuck in play-in purgatory every single season, because that's where they're going to be this year, I think. I hope they can get up to the 6th seed, but I just don't know if that's all that possible. They're 4 games out of it. Yeah, likely not. But I think the Hawks beat the Pistons here. Again, these teams are very close on paper. Trae Young, again, is trying his damn all. 38 points in the loss to Orlando on Thursday. It's crazy this guy wasn't originally an all-star this season. He's averaging 24 and 12 on a nightly basis. Trae Young is a premier player in this league. And again, he is the most underappreciated superstar of this era, and by far. I think the Hawks can get this one at home. Detroit is playing on a winning streak right now. They have won 5 in a row, dating back to their victory over Philly. They beat the Sixers. They beat the Hornets, back-to-back wins in Chicago, and then a win again out of the All-Star break against the Wemby-less San Antonio Spurs. I think the Hawks get them here. It's the final game of a road trip for Detroit. They return home on Monday to take on the Los Angeles Clippers. I think the Hawks get them here. Again, it's going to take a crazy effort out of Trae Young, but ultimately, that's what it's going to have to be every single night for this team. They need Trae to completely ball out because of all the injuries they have. They traded DeAndre Hunter. It's Trae's squad, and Trae's putting the damn team on his back. Give me Trae Young and the Atlanta Hawks to win at home as dogs here against the Detroit Pistons. We go on to our 5th game of the video, and we move to Orlando, Florida for the Orlando Magic and the Washington Wizards. The Wizards have been covering in a lot of games recently. That's just what they do right now. It's kind of weird, but hell, W, right? Good for the Wiz. You look at their last 5 games that they've played these teams fairly competitive with the exception of the Hawks loss, but that was on the second night of a back-to-back, right? They cover against the Cavs on February 7th. They only lose by 10. 10-point loss to the Spurs. A 4-point loss in OT to a very good Indiana Pacers squad, and then a 3-point loss on Friday against the Milwaukee Bucks, one that we saw coming. We had Washington on the spread in that game. And again, it's usually Jordan Poole, the guy who's going to erupt for this team, but you're going to get some other contributors. Obviously, the second overall pick in the draft last season, Alex Sarr. You're going to get Collington Carrington, right? There are going to be guys that are going to put up points. How Bilal Koulibaly, the French guard here for Washington, is going to score as well. I mean, yes, this team is very bad. They're 9-46. They're going to be without Chris Middleton, who made his Wizards debut the other night against his former team in the Bucks. Marcus Smart still out as well, who was, obviously traded to Washington at the deadline too. They're dealing with some injuries, right? I mean, those two guys are out. Malcolm Brogdon, another one of their vets, not playing. Bilal Koulibaly, questionable. Same can be said about Alex Sarr. We just need them to cover 12.5 points. I think the Wizards have been playing better ball than being 12.5 point dogs against the Magic, a team that has really just faltered recently. Orlando, 2 games under 500, 28-30 as a whole this season. Again, they have all the talent in the world. They've just been struggling. They're a good defensive team, don't get me wrong, but they've just really struggled in the second half of the season. Jalen Suggs, I believe, is still out for this game. Yes, Jonathan Isaac, questionable with an illness as well. Orlando currently finds themselves at the 7th seed in the Eastern Conference. They have been playing, they've just been very, the entire play-in's just been so mediocre. Don't get me started on the 10 seed debacle where it keeps on looking more and more like that 10 seed's actually going to be the Brooklyn Nets. I can't believe it, but legitimately it'll probably be Brooklyn. But that 7 through 9 in the play-in, Orlando, Miami, Atlanta, they're just the most mediocre teams, but they play in the Eastern Conference, and, all 3 of those squads are just trying to find ways to get in that 7-8 spot, so they get 2 chances at the play-in, come that tournament in a couple months, right? It's the weird spot of the East. I think Orlando obviously wins the game with it being at home. Hopefully Mickey Mouse doesn't randomly take the court like he did the other night. But I'm taking the Wizards to go on the road and cover. It's 12.5 points. The Wizards have just been playing too good a ball recently to not cover that line. So give me Washington here on the road to cover against the Orlando Magic. We go on to our 6th game, and we move to the 6th. We've got the Toronto Raptors here and the Phoenix Suns. I'm taking Phoenix as dogs. I think it's a pretty good spot for the Suns. I get it, second half of a back-to-back. They finally won their first game after losing 4 in a row. They go to Chicago, win a very tightly contested game against the Bulls, a game that was a lot closer than it needed to be. How Matas Buzelis covers the spread with a random foul at the end of the game. Regardless, Phoenix wins, so a win is a win. The Suns now find themselves, 1 game back of the Sacramento Kings for the 10 spot in the play-in race. Again, trust me, as long as Phoenix can kind of get their heads on straight, they should probably find their way to that play-in, and I'd assume, again, Sacramento falls out. The problem with Phoenix, and we keep on saying it, and it's still a problem, they don't play defense. They're a horrible defensive unit. Sure, again, they have elite scorers in this team. You've got Devin Booker. You get Bradley Beal, who played a good game the other night against Chicago. Kevin Durant obviously is great as well, but man, their defense is just simply put atrocious. They're taking on the Toronto Raptors, who have cooled off. Obviously, they had that big winning streak like a couple weeks ago. They've been pretty bad since. They have dropped 6 out their last 7 games since that big run that has concluded obviously with 2 straight losses going into this game, Cleveland, and then an overtime loss on Friday at home against the Miami Heat. We talk about the young core all the time with Toronto, and again, that young core does add a guy in Brandon Ingram who's still out for a little while. On top of that, Jakob Poeltl, their starting center, is questionable for this game. If he doesn't play, that does help out Phoenix a lot, because then you get that matchup against Nick Richards. Not the biggest scoring threat, obviously, but still, you would expect Nick Richards to box out and win a lot of those rebound opportunities against a guy like Jonathan Mobo, the rookie for Toronto, as well. I expect the Suns to win this game. I don't care they're in a second half of a back-to-back. This team should beat the Raptors. The Raptors are ice cold right now. They're not playing with the momentum they had a couple weeks ago. And hell, look at Phoenix. They're finally coming off a win. It would be a damn shame if the Suns can't beat the Toronto Raptors, so get it done, Phoenix. At this point, again, I don't even view, as a Lakers fan, I don't even view the Suns as, a threat anymore, because they're not. I'd want to see the Suns in the playoffs. Give me Phoenix all day long. We'll get revenge from 21 if we see them. We're not going to, but still, at this point, I just feel bad, because I like KD. I truly do. KD knows one thing in life, and that's ball, right? I want to see Durant succeed at this point of his career. Again, we know this team's going to get blown up in the offseason, but for now, sure, give me Phoenix to try to make a run. Suns go to Toronto and take care of business here against the Raptors. We go on to our next game as we move to Milwaukee, as we have the Milwaukee Bucks and the Miami Heat with former Los Angeles Laker forward Giannis Antetokounmpo playing for the Bucks tonight. Obviously, the Heat just just ended their losing streak of 4 games by beating Toronto in that game we just talked about up in Canada, winning in an OT. Tyler Hero at 28 points. Hell, I wouldn't mind a Victor Oladipo Heat reunion because honestly, Vic could play meaningful minutes on this team. Yeah, easily Vic could play meaningful minutes on this team. Like, you're telling me this guy's not playing in the rotation over Kyle Anderson and Alec Burks? I get Alec Burks doesn't really play that much. Oh, but they don't even play Jaquez that much, though, right now, right? No, Jaquez plays 20 minutes. All I'm saying is I think Vic could help this team, too. But honestly, I wouldn't mind Oladipo in New York. I wouldn't mind him with the Lakers, either. We could definitely use Oladipo. He's just better Dalton Connect right now. I don't know if he can shoot like Connect can, but still, if Vic's a way better defender, I would not mind Oladipo with the Lakers at all. Trust me, that'd be incredible. Anyways, Miami and Milwaukee, I'm taking the Bucks. That should come as no surprise. Milwaukee's the better basketball team. I know they played a competitive game the other night against the Washington Wizards. Weird spot, though, playing Chris Middleton in his debut. They find a way to win. Good, right? They've got some injuries, but a lot of their stars are going to play tonight. We're talking about, obviously, their 2 stars, Damian Lillard, Giannis Antetokounmpo, both of which are probable tonight. That's all I need to know. The Bucks are winning this game. I think the Bucks are going to start to go on a little run here. They're on a 3-game winning streak going into this game. Obviously, prior to the break, back-to-back wins. 1 win over the Minnesota Timberwolves, then back-to-back wins to come out of the break on the road against Washington. The night before that, they beat the Los Angeles Clippers. I do think the Bucks are going to start, picking it up now. I think it's a team that's, obviously last year their momentum and really any of their hopes of potentially winning anything last year got halted with the injuries to Antetokounmpo and such. Obviously losing in the first round of the Indiana Pacers. I think this team is going to start ramping up now. I do expect this team to be an elite squad in the East. Again, I do rank them 4th in terms of likeliness to get out of the East, behind Indiana, Cleveland, and Boston. But still, I like the Bucks a lot. I think Antetokounmpo is great. Obviously, you know that. Again, the struggle for this team all year long has been the supporting cast around Antetokounmpo and Dame. Again, I don't know about Kuz still. Yes, Kuzma dropped 19 in the win against Washington, his former squad, but the jury's still out, personally, I think, on Kyle Kuzma with this Milwaukee squad. But in this game, yes, I'm going to take them to beat a Heat squad who, sure, won their last game, but still an overall struggling Miami team. And that's not because of the absence of Jimmy Butler. It's just not that well constructed of a team right now. Give Pat Riley an offseason and let's see what happens, right? I'm taking the Milwaukee Bucks to win this game, and I'm taking them to cover the 4.5 points. Miami's just not in a great position right now, and they're not going to beat the better teams in the conference, such as Milwaukee. So give me the Bucks at home to win and cover, again, especially with Giannis and Dame projected to play. Let's move on to our next game as we go to New Orleans, Louisiana. A little bit confused on this line. The Pelicans are favorites to beat the San Antonio Spurs. Don't get it. I do not get it. The news obviously came out yesterday. Greg Popovich out for the rest of the year. That sucks. I hope Popovich is all right. He had the stroke earlier in the season, or the mini stroke they called it. I don't know if Greg Popovich is ever going to coach another game of basketball ever again. I don't know. Regardless of that, the Spurs are without Victor Wembanyama for the rest of the season, so they're stuck starting Bismack Biyombo. I like Biyombo. The streets will never forget, obviously, his Linsanity run with the Toronto Raptors in the playoffs all those years ago. I feel like this younger generation only knows Bismack Biyombo, though, for him being the guy in the SGA edit who collapses due to Shea's aura. Okay, I'll stop. Anyways, I do think the Spurs are fine in the spot, though. I get it, Wemby's not playing. Guys, I watched this Wemby-less Spurs team beat Phoenix, and I get it. Oh, it's the Suns. They're playing the damn Pelicans. Like, what? The Pels are 30 games under. They're 13-43. I get the games in New Orleans. I don't care. I think the Spurs can still win this game. Again, I am expecting potentially this team to shut down De'Aaron Fox and just say, all right, we're moving on to next year. We're going to try to capture the flag and see what happens. Because, again, if the Spurs team can add a lotto piece, oh, man. I mean, again, they'll likely be in the lotto, but if they can get a good lotto piece, ooh, if you can add a Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey to this team, again, when this team's going to get really going in like 3 years, oh, man. Alongside Stephon Castle, oh, man. Obviously, De'Aaron, too, for the future. That could be nasty. But the time to shut things down is not right now. I think it's going to happen soon, but De'Aaron's not getting that surgery yet, so we're still taking San Antonio. Again, I saw the Spurs beat the Suns the other night. I'd expect them to go on the road and beat New Orleans at plus money. Plus 100 for San Antonio. Sign me up. Guys, the Pels are horrible. Goes without saying. New Orleans is not good. They've won one game out their last 11. They beat Sacramento the game before the break. It was the third time they played Sacramento in 4 games. They finally got him in overtime. They came out the All-Star break, lose to Dallas on the road. I get it. Zion is playing good ball. I think he is. Again, when Zion's healthy, there's no denying how good the guy is. It's just he can't stay healthy. And also, the Zion era in New Orleans just didn't work out. Not to say Zion's not going to work out elsewhere, because again, like Trae Young, we expect Zion to potentially be dealt in the offseason, potentially like a guy like Joel Embiid, who obviously got benched in his game yesterday against the Brooklyn Nets, who again, we expect to probably be the 10 seed in the Eastern Conference this season. But again, I get it. Zion's got skill. The rest of this Pelicans team, though, is just mediocre. They leave a lot to be desired. I'm taking San Antonio to go on the road and take care of business and win here against the New Orleans Pelicans. We go on to our 9th game of the video, and we move to Cleveland, Ohio. The Cleveland Cavaliers host the Memphis Grizzlies, and we are taking the Cleveland Cavaliers. So this is the first half of the ESPN doubleheader. Earlier today, we had the ABC doubleheader. Here's the ESPN doubleheader. I'm taking Cleveland to beat Memphis. The Grizz are good. They're just on a long road trip, and I think Cleveland gets them here. Memphis, again, came out the All-Star break. They lose to the Indiana Pacers. Second half of the back-to-back, they go to Orlando and beat the Magic. Now they got to go on the road and beat Cleveland. This is a tough team, though, in the Cavaliers, obviously. I still don't know how well it's going to translate to the postseason, but this is a Cleveland team who has not lost since February 4th, and that was to the Boston Celtics. Since then, they're in a 6-game winning streak, obviously coming off the All-Star break, winning back-to-back games against the Brooklyn Nets and against the New York Knicks. Donovan Mitchell's an all-star for a reason. Evan Mobley, all-star for a reason. Darius Garland, all-star for a reason. They will outscore you. They will put points on you. Ask the Knicks, 142 on New York on Friday night from Cleveland. This team's elite. They play fast. They're one of the best, if not the best offensive team in all the NBA. The Lakers are going to have something to say about that soon. Anyways, Cleveland's just that good. They are dealing with some injuries. Darius Garland questionable, Jared Allen questionable. I'd expect Darius Garland to play. Adam Silver is going to make the call and say, hey, you're our national TV tonight. We need to show the world how good Cleveland truly is in an elite matchup. And yes, they will take care of business over this Memphis squad. The Grizz, sure, they're a great regular season team. Have they ever performed in the postseason with Ja yet? Not really. They've been there. Has Memphis seen that much success though? No. What's going to happen when they get in the postseason this year? Let's just be brutally honest with ourselves here. Memphis is going to finish the 4th seed in the Western Conference, I believe. I think it's going to be, honestly, I think it's going to be OKC, Los Angeles. Not hell. I think maybe Memphis. Can Memphis get 3? Their schedule's. We'll say, for the sake of Memphis, we'll say OKC, LA, Memphis, Nuggets, Rockets, Timberwolves. Okay. What happens? They got to play the winner of the 7-8 play-in game. Let's say that's Clippers, Warriors. I'll actually give it to the Clippers. Does Memphis... Right now, do you think the Grizzlies beat the Clippers in the first round of the playoffs? Oh, wait, no, they beat the 3. Sorry, the Lakers beat the Clippers. That'd be fun. Do you think the Grizzlies beat the Timberwolves in the first round of the playoffs? In the 3-6? For that matter, too, do you think they beat the Clippers, like, if they match up with Los Angeles? No. I don't think they do. In the playoffs, no, I'm not taking Memphis. I think they're good. They're a good regular season squad, kind of like Houston. But I don't think either of those teams see all that much success in the playoffs. We'll see it tonight. Playoff-like environment. Cleveland, team that plays fast. Really good team. I think the Cavs just kind of beat the brakes off them. I like Jaren Jackson a lot. I like Ja a lot, but I think the Cavs are just the better basketball team. Give me Cleveland at home to win and cover the 5.5 points as well. As we go on to our final game of the night, it's time for Shea to get his revenge. The Oklahoma City Thunder go on the road to take on the Minnesota Timberwolves, and you know the pick. It's the same pick every single day. OKC to win. OKC spread as well. The last game before the All-Star break was the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Minnesota Timberwolves. It was OKC coming off a second half of a back-to-back. Shea played one of his worst games of the season, and the Timberwolves got them in Minnesota. Same spot, back in Minnesota. the Thunder get their revenge. They're going to play tomorrow night as well. They're going to play in OKC tomorrow night, but right now, yes, the Thunder are going to get their get back on Minnesota, a injured Minnesota team who's coming off a loss to the Rockets the other night. The Timberwolves are going to be without both of their bigs, no Rudy Gobert, no Julius Randle. So what is the lineup going to look like tonight for Minnesota? Obviously, Conley, Edwards, McDaniels. Then I don't know who the hell they're going to piece together. Probably Naz Reid at the 4. Is Luka Garza going to start at the 5? Are they going to move? Are they just going to go small and play McDaniels at the 4 and start either Dillingham, likely Nikhil Alexander-Walker? I don't know. But if you're having these problems, at least health-wise, against the Oklahoma City Thunder, you will lose. Why? Because SGA is the best player in the NBA, and this defensive unit that the Thunder have is absolutely insane. This is the one team I am scared of in the entire NBA. Yes, I'm talking about the Nuggets included. The Nuggets, the Celtics, the Cavs, the Pacers, all these squads. This is the one team I am scared of. Being a Lakers fan is the Oklahoma City Thunder. Why? The defense and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Best player in the league. It's not even close. And obviously the two bigs as well. They're starting Jet at the 4, who's getting his legs back. They're starting Isaiah Hartenstein at the 5. And obviously they've got Jalen Williams out of Santa Clara University, obviously, at the 3. All-star this season. J-Dub is dominant. And the depth that they have, man. Cason Wallace, Isaiah Joe, Caruso, Wiggins, Jalen Williams, obviously, Arkansas Jalen Williams. They've got so much depth. It is scary. This is the team I'm scared of. Selfishly, I love Shai, but I'm hoping I'm hoping they play the Nuggets in the second round, so the Lakers only got to see one of them. I think the tougher team's obviously still OKC, but, it is what it is. I think OKC gets their get back here. The Thunder, don't forget, they're a good regular season squad, obviously, and they're going to be a good postseason team this year as well. Really only the second year of the Shai dominance here in OKC. Like, really just, pure dominance. Obviously, he was good in 22, but this is, again, or 23. But Shai's really taken over now. Obviously, he is a minus 900 favorite to win the Most Valuable Player award this season, and the Thunder are going to prove that, and Shai's going to prove that here on this nationally televised spot in Minnesota. They're going to get their get back. The Thunder, don't forget, OKC's going to win to propel themselves to 46-10 with a victory on the road and a cover of 9.5 against Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves. Ant, by the way, is completely on his own right now. So, yeah, give me OKC. And folks, that'll do it for our NBA predictions here for February 23rd. If you haven't yet, though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to comment. If you do disagree with any of the picks, make sure, again, to go check out our daily college basketball best bets posted earlier today. And also make sure to join us for our UFC predictions with Manel Kopp and Asu Almabayev in the main event later today as well. Folks, thank y'all for watching. Make sure to comment if you do disagree with any of the picks. Make sure to subscribe. And Mamba